In today's video, we're going to be taking a very long look at the upcoming pattern. We're going to be taking a look at the temperature pattern as well as the precipitation pattern, and we're actually going to make our way all the way towards late June, where we're going to be able to take a look at things. I want to make one of these about once a month, once every 2 weeks, something in that range. I've talked about this before and we've done these videos. I think I made one about a month ago, so it's been quite a while. I'd like to do them a little bit more frequently, but it gives us a good look into the upcoming pattern. And today we're going to break down the European model, the European ensemble model, the European weekly model as well. So we're going to work through all of those models. And I would like to announce, and you probably already know if you've watched our videos, but I've made a new business, Trilogy Maps, and you guys can check that out today in the pinned comment and description down below, and we have the highest definition, most customizable maps available anywhere on the internet over there. And there's actually a 50% off discount ongoing currently, and that's going to last through the spring, so not too much longer. And you can even use our discount code DIRECT on top of that for another 33% off of the 50% off. So it's an absolutely crazy deal that you're definitely going to want to take part in before those deals end. Now, as you take a look at today, you can see that we have plenty of cool air along the eastern seaboard here. We can even see some warmer temperatures throughout the central and the northwestern United States as well, indicative of a positive PNA, and this really causes a lot of this cold air to work its way into the east, as we've seen happen here. As we continue things on towards tomorrow time frame, we can see that there is some really cold air off the southeast, and this is mostly due to this low pressure system that we have here. This is causing a lot of this cooler air overall to take place. Typically, the May time frame is a very warm and sunny time frame, but when you get these consistently cloudy and rainy conditions, it does bring the average temperature down. So that is what we're seeing. Now, this sticks around for quite a while, but we can tell that the warm air is inching closer and closer as we approach early June. And we do see also, look at the western seaboard, a little bit of a negative PNA wanting to set up as we see cooler temperatures moving in. This all would be indicative of very warm temperatures moving into the east. So we're seeing all of this really ramp up and take place here as we just roll through with things. As we get into early June, we can see we're going to start off in a really hot way. We see potentially a heat wave taking place in here as we're seeing 15 to 25 degrees above normal, potentially 90s for a lot of these areas up here. Very hot. And we see this for a couple of days in a row for certain areas. Friday, June 2nd here, very far above normal temperatures. Again, 90s most likely. And we'll have to see what the 3rd looks like. But all you need is 3 days in a row of 90s. We've been actually calling for this potential heat wave for weeks now, and a lot of people were like, it's not going to be 90s, it's not going to be 90s, but it's looking very possible to hit that official heat wave mark in certain areas. It doesn't have to hit it everywhere, but we do expect certain areas to be able to hit that threshold, which is extremely interesting this early on in the season. And it would beg the question, is this a sign of things to come? Well, only time will tell. You're going to want to subscribe because we do upload every single day, and we'll be able to answer that question over time. That's just how things go. Now, on the ensemble model, we're starting at June 2nd because that's where we left off on our previous one. We see warmer temperatures overall for the north, especially here, compared to normal. As we move towards the 3rd, another very hot day according to this European ensemble model, so I'm sure we do hit that official heat wave mark, especially in the upper Midwest, Ohio Valley area somewhere, but that just depends on how things trend. It's certainly possible that we see things look a little cooler than expected. That's also very possible at this point, so only time will tell. Sunday the 4th here, we can see another very warm day in the east. And it's only once we reach the 5th, 6th time frame that we see stuff like this starting to take place, where we see primarily the warmth in here. Again, potentially a positive PNA trying to take place, and this encourages a lot of this cold air to spread eastward of here. That is the look that I see looking at this, and that is starting around June 5th time frame. Obviously, this is not going to be cold, most likely upper 70s, lower 80s for a lot of these areas, as this is obviously a couple of weeks from now, so the average temperature will be even higher by then. But still certainly something to pay attention to and track moving forward. We see by Wednesday, maybe a little bit of warming trying to take place here in the east, and certainly a lot of cooling here, maybe a negative PNA trying to take back over. This is really far out. We're going to have to just wait and see with that. Definitely interesting, but a lot to pay attention to and a lot of question marks moving forward. As we take a look here at our European weekly model, this is going to give us a much longer range outlook, and we're going to be taking a look at 7-day increments. Here's the next 7 days according to this model, and as you can see, very cold temperatures. So we're going to do a down arrow to indicate below average, and very warm temperatures up here in the northwest with an up arrow to indicate above average. So that is what we're taking a look at, and that is overall what the next week or so looks like. As we take a look at the week after that, so the 29th through the 5th of June, we see warmer temperatures overall here, so an uptrend in those temperatures, and much cooler in here, indicative, again, like we mentioned, of a negative PNA. A lot of this that we're seeing here, these blues in the southeast, by the way, is going to be mostly due to these lows that we're seeing offshore. Like I mentioned, the kind of dreary, cloudy weather is enough to bring that below average temperature in. It's not really an air mass. It's just that the sun isn't breaking through and warming temperatures on a day-to-day basis. So this isn't a cold air mass. It's just a cooler area due to the conditions around. So it's a little bit different. Over here, we anticipate obviously not cloudy and rainy conditions for most of these areas. This is just a cold air mass in general caused by a cold air mass moving in. As we move on to that next 7-day period, the day 14 through 21, that's going to be the 5th of June through the 12th of June. We still see some cooler temperatures here in the southwest, so again, that's going to tell us that probably a negative PNA is taking place. Although, look at the northwest, we see positive up here, so this is kind of a neutral, and it's going to really depend how we see these conditions spread in. But around this time frame, we do see warmth in here, a little bit of some more neutral temperatures around the coast. I'd be surprised or interested to see how things turn out, actually. We see more cooling taking place in the western United States overall, so a down arrow here, and then some warmth spreading just to the east of this area here. As you can see, a little bit less warm along that east coast, but still likely above average during this 12th through 19th time frame. Although it is further out, and we're going to want to take this with a grain of salt, as obviously confidence is a little bit lower at this range, so that's another thing to note. The 28th through the 35th, again looking very warm here for the eastern 2/3 of the nation. A little bit cooler here along the west is certainly what we're taking a look at. Same story here, 26th through the 3rd of July, and then we even get to see the 30th of June through the 7th of July. This is the furthest we get out. Very warm in the central especially, but also parts of the eastern United States. So I hope that gives you some insight into the upcoming temperature pattern. Here's the precipitation pattern on the same thing. This is going to be 7-day increments here. So this is going to be the 29th and beyond here for that 7-day period. A lot drier in the east, as we know, outside of the southeast there with that coastal system, and these areas with the frequent severe weather that we've been discussing. So that is going to be the look there. Now, after we reach towards about the 1st through the 7th time frame of June, this is what we're taking a look at, mostly drier in the east here. And again, these flaring up of those south central storms going to be the main area we're taking a look at. The 7th through the 14th here, again, quite dry here in between. So we're seeing this kind of drier area there, but a lot more precipitation is able to make its way up the coast there. And then also for the northwest, we're seeing some of these areas of storminess according to this model. And then the 14th through the 21st here, you can tell things are getting a little bit averaged out, obviously, with lots of kind of very conservative calls here, not very bold with anything. We're seeing maybe above average here for the northeast, maybe below average for the south central. That's the two main takeaways here, but confidence is going to be extremely low at this range, especially for precipitation, which is even harder to predict than temperature patterns. So we're going to have to track that really closely, but confidence is looking sketchy at best. June 21st through 28th, again, the eastern seaboard may be taking a look at above average precipitation here. We're seeing a little bit of some below average across the south central again. So they're an area that's looking like it's going to be pretty active here in the near future, but this model is calling for a big turnaround in the long range, potentially slowing down big time out there in the south central. And as we just take a look at the first week of July, maybe picking back up here in the south central. But again, this eastern seaboard looks pretty wet compared to normal, with some thunderstorms most likely being pretty frequent. This is going to be something really closely that we need to watch. Definitely a very active pattern for these areas if this does pull through. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Again, be sure to check out those trilogy maps in the description and the pinned comment down below. You can even subscribe here for daily uploads, okay? So we're going to be tracking the upcoming pattern every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Also, be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.